Google confesses, experts without books don't exist anymore. Two types of experts exist in Google's eyes right now, and most people don't know which one they are. On one side, there are practitioners who are becoming the only name Google's AI surfaces when a client searches for help. They get cited, they get clicks, they get the call. On the other side, and this is where most independent consultants, advisors, and coaches are sitting right now, there are experts who are functionally invisible. Same skills, same experience, but Google's AI has no way to verify them, so it skips them entirely. And the data on this is not subtle. 60% of Google searches now end without a single click to any website. Google's AI answers the question before the searcher ever sees your name. Search Engine Land reported that when these AI answers appear, click-through rates to organic results drop 61%. Your website could be perfect, but it doesn't matter if nobody ever gets there. Now, here's what makes this different from every other algorithm change you've heard about. There is one specific asset that determines which side of the divide you land on. Google's own system tells you what it is. Most experts just haven't connected the dots yet, and it's simpler than you think. Let me give you the full picture. Over the past 18 months, Google rolled out something called AI Overviews, powered by their Gemini model. These are AI-generated summaries that now appear at the top of more than half of all searches. And when they show up, they don't just push your website down the page, they replace it. Then in December of 2025, Google released a core algorithm update that made author attribution, your name, your credentials, your published work, essentially mandatory for showing up in competitive search results. Not helpful, mandatory. But here's the part most people aren't connecting. This isn't just a search engine problem. Forrester published research showing that 92% of B2B buyers now enter the buying process with a preferred provider already selected. And 6 Sense confirmed that the pre-contact favorite wins the deal 80% of the time. So the question isn't whether your clients are searching. They are. The question is whether Google's AI puts you on the list they see before they ever pick up the phone. Now, here's why this matters to you specifically. Whether you're an independent consultant, a financial advisor, a coach, or a speaker, your next client is not going to find you the way they used to. They're going to ask Google, or they're going to go ask ChatGPT, and the AI is going to answer them directly. It's going to cite the experts it can verify, the ones with published books, named methodologies, and what Google calls entity presence. It's in the knowledge graph. If you don't have those signals, the AI has nothing to verify. You're not rejected, you're just not in the data set. And a split is forming. On one side, there are experts becoming interchangeable, invisible, competing for whatever scraps of attention the algorithm leaves behind. On the other side, there are practitioners who are becoming the only name the AI surfaces. Most people don't realize which side they're on. I want to tell you about someone who found out the hard way. An RIA in the Northeast, I'll call Hayden. 11 years of solid work, happy clients, steady referrals. About 18 months ago, his discovery call close rate started slipping. Prospects would show up and say, I've already talked to a couple of other people, when he used to be the only call. His work hadn't changed, something else had. Keep that in mind. I want to share a framework with you that explains exactly what's happening. I call it the entity authority gap. Google's knowledge graph, the system behind everything that you see in search, organizes the world into entities. An entity is something Google can identify, verify, and connect to other things. A person linked to a book, linked to a name methodology, linked to a topic, that's entity rich. Google trusts it. Google cites it. Now, here's the other side. A practitioner with a website and a LinkedIn profile. That's not an entity. That's what Google calls a string. Just text on a page, and strings are invisible in AI-driven search. Think of it like the difference between being in the phone book versus being in the encyclopedia. The phone book lists you. The encyclopedia proves that you matter. Google's AI only reads the encyclopedia now. Hayden's entire practice was built on the phone book side. Strong referrals, solid website, good content, but none of it created an entity that Google's AI could verify and cite. And here's what McKinsey figured out before anyone else. They built an internal AI tool called Lily that processes over 500,000 prompts a month by searching their published knowledge base. 100,000 documents of structured, published expertise. They literally built an AI that rewards published authority, the same type of AI that now powers Google search. McKinsey solved this for their consultants. Independent experts haven't. So the question every consultant and advisor needs to answer is this. When a client asks Google for help in your area, does Google's AI have anything to verify about you? If I could boil all of this down to one sentence, it's this. Google used to show people a list of websites and let them decide who's good. Now Google decides for them. And it picks the people it can prove are experts. If you haven't published proof, Google can't pick you. That changes everything about how you should be building your authority right now. So what happened to Hayden? One afternoon, a prospect sat across from him, pulled out his phone, and showed him an AI-generated summary about retirement income strategies. I found this on Google, the guy said. Is this basically what you do? The summary cited 2 advisors, both had published books. Hayden wasn't mentioned. His work was just as good, but Google's AI had no way to know that. That was the moment it clicked for him. He spent the next 4 months building a named methodology around his retirement transition planning process, and he published a book around it. Within 6 months, something shifted. His name started appearing in AI-generated search results. Discovery calls went from, I'm talking to a few people, back to, I read your book and I think you're the right fit. Same expertise, same clients, totally different evidence. So what actually works? Here's what I've seen the successful ones do. They stop thinking about search engine optimization and they start thinking about authority documentation. They take what they already know, the process that they already use with clients, and they make it visible, verifiable, and citable. The data backs this up. Content that gets cited inside Google's AI overviews earns 35% more clicks than content that doesn't get cited. Named authors with published credentials consistently outperform anonymous content in AI-driven discovery. And the experts I work with who have built tangible authority, a book, a named process, a published body of work, they're not worried about zero-click search because they are the answer Google gives. The difference between the advisors and consultants who are thriving right now and the ones who feel invisible, it's not talent, it's not experience, it's whether they've built something that makes them the known authority before the client starts searching. An asset that does the work for them. Something Google's AI can point to and say, this person is real, this person is credible, this person wrote the book on it. The question most people have at this point is, okay, I get it, but how do I actually build that? How do I take a decade of expertise and turn it into something Google's AI can verify and cite? How do I go from a string on a page to an entity in the system? Because here's what I've learned. The ones who win aren't necessarily better at what they do. They just have an asset that does the positioning for them before the conversation starts. That's exactly what I walk through in the next video. It covers the extraction process we use to take what you already know and build a book around it in 90 days without staring at a blank page. It also explains why we back the whole process with an ROI guarantee, because what this has to do for your practice is real. If Google's AI can't find evidence that you're the authority in your space right now, that next video is the one you need. Watch it next.